vibe, we shine on the light. Welcome to Chatnite, we bring you good vibe, we shine on the light. We all over the world, Chatnite Africa. We all over the world, Chatnite Africa. Welcome to Chatnite, we bring you good vibe, we shine on the light. Welcome to Chatnite, we bring you good vibe, we shine on the light. We all over the world, Chatnite Africa. We all over the world, Chatnite Africa. Welcome to Chatnite, the only place that we give you good vibes. Chatnite Africa. Welcome to Chatnite, all over the world we are shining the light. Chatnite Africa. Welcome to Chatnite.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of Voices of Africa. My name is Divine Chamukong, and I'm anchoring this broadcast from Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. It's been a long time, very, very long time since I last met someone so driven to helping others succeed. It's one thing to do something to earn money. It's a completely different thing when the motivation stretches beyond just self-aggrandizement. The impact is huge. Mr. Cho Awundaga has been an IT supermaster for 26 years. I have to say that his fingerprints are all over the lives of people he has touched, to the point that they describe him as the Pope in the business. This amazing human being, ladies and gentlemen, is my guest tonight. Please, let's welcome the IT supermaster, Mr. Cho Awundaga, on the platform. I don't know whether I should say Dr. Cho or Mr. Cho or Pop Cho. I don't know. I don't know. I've lost count of the certifications you have in IT, but that's a different story. Mr. Cho Awundaga, welcome on Chatnite Africa. Voices of Africa is the program.
Yes, I'm glad to be here. It's a pleasure.
So many people told me they will watch you based on the way I introduced you to them. Now, the burden of proof, justification is on you to make the argument why they should stop every other thing they are doing now to watch you. What arguments have you, Mr. Cho Awundaga?
Well, as one of the pioneers in IT in our African community here in the Washington metro area, I believe my sacrifice and work has touched the lives of many of us in the US, many of us back in Africa. And I've been doing this for the past 26 years. And I can testify that my students, those that I taught 26 years ago, 20 years ago, they still remember me for the life-changing education that I gave them. I actually call myself a mentor. I mentored them for so long, such that they could teach even their own families and their friends. And many, many other schools have sprung up from the work that I have done within the past 26 years.
Mr. Cho Awundaga, you are Senior Technical Database Administrator, Engineer, Architect, and AWS Cloud Database DBA Consultant for 26 years. I have to say that when anyone applies for an IT job, information technology job, wherever in the United States, chances are very high that that person will be interviewed by an Indian. Why are we Africans joining the game late? Are we just not so smart?
I think the thing comes from the kind of curriculum that we had back home growing up, and that I still have. It's not very technical. It's geared towards. It's geared more towards a grammar education. It's a little bit behind time, because I came to this country in 1982 to study architecture, just because my uncle was an architect. I did that, got finished, and by 1988, I was working as an architect for a company in New York City at the World Trade Center. Then in 1991, I moved to the Washington area, and then realized that I wouldn't be going back home anytime soon. And for that reason, I decided that to stay in the US, I would have to pursue a different career. And that's when I started looking into IT. Then, when I got into IT by 1996, the first thing I discovered was that I studied on my own basically because there was no computer school that I could afford, and there was actually none in my area. I studied on my own for about a year. My first job paid me twice what I was making as an architect, and that was my initial motivation to teach everyone, every friend that I knew, uh, IT, to teach them databases so they could get into IT. And that was the beginning of the IT here. And it has grown ever since to the point where, as you say, Indians are in there more, yes, because of their education system. But we have kind of transformed that within our community to the point where children in Cameroon hoping to come to the US are now studying IT. We have online classes that will give them. I teach folks, children in Douala who stay up from midnight to maybe 5 a.m. With me, just taking classes for free, just so that I can change their lives. And so, just to tell you, I work for AWS, I work for the US government. If you see three black people who are DBAs, two of them will be Cameroonians because I'm from Cameroon and we have been teaching it for so long. My students, my grand students now have schools that are teaching IT, and we are all in. So we are kind of competing with the Indians. Now we're catching up with the Indians.
I can understand why some people call you grandpa in IT. And are there times that you look at your students and say, "Hey, these guys could beat me"? Are you worried your students could challenge you on the job?
The success of a man depends on how good his children get, how better than him his children get. So the 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 friends and the children, now I'm teaching my children, some of them, they have to get better than me. They have to take it up one notch. That's when I would know I'm successful. Because if you think about it, you are a primary school teacher, you went further than him, but he gave you the foundation. And every time you see him, you give him a bottle of beer, you're happy. So it's the same thing.
I've met many people here in Washington D.C. metropolitan area, and I mean, who are doing different databases and so on. It's hard for them to talk about their stories without quoting or citing, making references to what you did for them. That is the beauty of being a teacher.
Yes.
Now, Mr. Chuawundaga, I have seen your ex-students. Some are working in the Department of Defense, some in the Foreign Secretary of State's office, that's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and different, big corporations in New York and so on. What makes you stand out? That there are many, many IT schools around the United States, especially here in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. What makes Chuawundaga so unique? What's your story? What's the secret?
What sets me apart, even apart from some of my students and other schools around, is that I teach you to become like a teacher. I teach you from the ground up. A lot of my students had their first email in my classroom. They never had use for emails, but I teach them from the basics of typing all the way up to becoming professionals within, say, 4 or 5 months, because I take them in a way that they would understand. I spend a lot of time with them, for those who are willing, raising them up, giving them not just to memorize, but to be able to practice. I teach them to do the job. So when they get out there, my students never lose a job because they did not know. Or they get out there, sometimes they may be thinking I will support them, but they get out to find out that everything I taught them is exactly what they're doing at work. So I teach the job. I teach you how to do the job. I don't even care about certifications. My students will tell you, I tell them, get a job before you worry about certification. Because on my end, what I know in IT is the company wants you to deliver. And if you can deliver, they care less about your degree, your certifications. Okay, so that will come later on. So what sets me apart is that I teach people how to do the job. I teach you the job in my class.
People think that, and those who are reluctant to get into IT, in spite of there's so much money that's there, people think that to get into IT, you have to know, you have to be computer literate, you have to be this. What does it take to be like you one day? Let me put the question this way. What did you know in computers before you joined IT?
Before I'll tell you, I studied architecture in the 80s. My first view of computer in the US was when we were filling out cards with a black lead pencil, and then you stick them in. I took no computer class during my time of studies in the US. I studied AutoCAD, which we use in drawing, after I had finished school, because that's when it came out. And from then, I became interested in seeing where these drawings are kept, you know. So I found out that they kept in a database. And I started looking at that more and more and more and more to see what this database was all about. Then I found out that everything around the world, the internet, everything is stored in a database. So that ignited my interest in looking into this more and studying on my own. There were no books at the time. There was no Amazon didn't exist. So to get a book, you had to go to the bookstore like Barnes and Nobles, and that's the only place. Otherwise, you needed somebody who was working to give you a printed documentation. And I did
Okay,
that many
hold your
times.
thought right there. It looks like there are so many people on the line. You are watching Voices of Africa on Chatnite Africa.
We love Chatnite Africa. Keep watching Chatnite Africa.
Hello, this is Voices of Africa. Please turn down the volume, turn off any volume you have there, and just talk to me as if you were a phone call. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yes, please. Welcome on Chatnite Africa. May I know who is on the line, please?
This is Ngozi Boo.
Sorry, I didn't get your name.
Ngozi Boo.
Oh, Ngozi. Hello, how are you today?
I'm good, thank you.
Beautiful. Are you also in IT?
Yes.
Oh, what did you study? I mean, IT is like the universe. There's Linux,
yeah.
there's AWS, there's this and that, all kinds of stuff. What did you study?
Oracle Database Administration.
Oh, okay. Oracle Database. Yeah. And who taught you that, if I may ask?
Oh, it was Prof. Cho. That would be BI Tech. That's where I had my study.
Oh, I see.
Various information technology, yeah.
Okay, so the guy, wow, yeah. So if you're driving a nice car now or living in a beautiful home, it's thanks to this guy I'm talking to right now.
Oh, yes.
Now, tell me a little bit, just let the secret out. What is it that you liked about Mr. Cho Awondaga, who was your IT instructor?
Personally, okay, there's a lot to say. Initially, I was about to I wanted to do Linux administration before I put up a call to him when I saw his flyer. And when I spoke with him, he told me a lot of things and told me how databases are the best to get into and the rest of them. And then I enrolled in his class. And really, to tell you the truth, I know I know he has sacrificed a lot for a whole lot of people, especially in Africa, taking up so many people on this course and putting up late nights with his family, with his son. Sometimes he joins in the class to assist him in the teaching and everything. But it's been awesome working with him and learning from him, because even after I got my job, he assisted me for some time, holding my hand to ensure that I am comfortable on the job before letting go. So that's one thing I like about him.
So you get the job, and he's there to make sure that you succeed. He doesn't just say, "Okay, goodbye, my friend.
No.
You got your training. You're on your own." He doesn't do that.
No. Once you let him know that you will require assistance once you get a job, immediately you get a job, call on him at any time. He's always there to answer you and to assist you on the job.
Tell me a little bit, and this is a personal question. Has IT changed your life?
Oh, yes.
In what ways?
Yes.
In what ways?
In the sense that, okay, how do I put it? I'm in America, right? You know that. I came into this country like probably 3 years ago, and this was the first job I got in IT. And upon getting that job, it was like, say, 3 months or 4 months after I got the job, I got my own house. And I'm independent of anybody.
And you're driving a nice car too. You're driving a nice car.
Oh, yes, definitely.
IT money is sweet. I hear that IT money is sweet.
Oh, yes, it's very sweet, I tell you. And I keep referring people too, because what has turned my life around, I want others to also experience it.
Oh, that's so beautiful. That's so nice of you. Usually when people cross the bridge, they don't want others to cross.
At all. That's not me.
Now tell me, how long were you in the class?
It was a 6-month class.
Wow.
And after the 6 months, when we got into while we were doing our IT, more like internship, more of hands-on practicals and everything, about a month after the internship, I got a job.
Wow.
So it was a 6-month class.
Look, listen, you've got, because lots of people are listening to this. And as I said, one of my questions, when you go for an IT interview in the United States, chances are very high that you will be interviewed by an Indian. Nothing wrong with that. But we Africans are struggling to catch up. Now, tell me a little bit. What was your first annual salary, if it's not a secret? No, come on, tell me.
I want to say that.
Well, if you don't tell me, I know anyway. I know how much you guys make. 6 figures,
no,
6 figures.
I want to say that on air.
6
yeah,
figures.
It's in 6 figures, yes.
All right, now I got you, Ugly. I got you. Now, if somebody wants to, and that's my last question to you, if somebody wants to do IT, what's your advice? Where are you advising him to go to, him or her?
I will advise the person to go for it. There are lots of courses out there, but to tell you the truth, when you get online, even when you check, you will see so many of them that you will keep seeing jobs. These jobs are out there, especially when you do these courses and you do it for the cloud, then you are up and above, I tell you. If it's SQL Server, you go for the Azure. If it's Oracle and you do it for AWS Cloud, migrating to the cloud, you are made in this country.
All right. Thank you so much, Lady Ngozi. Are you from Nigeria?
Yes, I am.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yes, I am.
What part of Nigeria?
I'm from Imo State.
Oh, the
married
Imo.
to an Anambra.
Anambra
State.
State.
To somebody in Anambra. Yes.
That's where you have the most beautiful ladies on the planet. That's the Igbo group. Hey, look, listen, I have to tell you this. The problem is that Igbos are so expensive to get married. Thank you so much for dialing in, Lady Ngozi, okay?
Thank you.
Keep making more money. Keep making more money. Bye-bye now. You are watching Voices of Africa.
Chatnite Africa. Keep watching Chatnite Africa.
I mean, Mr. Cho Awundaga, the Pope. I mean, I can understand why your ex-students call you the Pope when you are changing people's lives, touching them in such profound ways. I can understand why before the gates of heaven, they will be singing your name. You have some reaction. You have some comments to make about what one of your ex-students just said.
Oh yes, yes, yes. She said it right. My entire family, we're all DBAs. My far cousins, everyone who lands in the US, just like she did, she came here. Uh, Within 2 years, she met me, and 6 months after that, she became a DBA. And the way I teach them, just like she said, those who are ready to learn, they have even extra classes, extra time for me to put in with them. You get a job, you're kind of still shaky, you're scared. I'm there to hold your hand. And I don't teach alone. I teach with my son. I teach with my daughter. So all those,
Oh,
you have
it-
that support
it's a
from my whole
database
family.
empire. It's a database empire. Your son,
Yes,
your daughter, everybody.
that's what it is.
Oh my goodness.
you know
Oh my
so
goodness.
within 6 months, she got that was her first job in the US.
Okay, hold your thought there. We have somebody on the line. Hello.
Hello, Brother Divine. Good evening.
Good evening. You are watching the Pope in database and AWS. He's the Pope.
Thank you, Brother Divine. And I just will say, Professor Cho, I just walked in and just listening to a few seconds of you talking, I knew I had to watch the show. I'm just amazed. Just you. It's like you are. It's like you are preaching the gospel. And my first point is the fact that you are volunteering your time to teach people across the oceans in Africa, specifically in Cameroon. That's powerful. And I say that to say this because I'm a believer that you can learn from anywhere you are in the world. So you touched me that day. And I just say thank you for what you're doing. You've inspired me already. I know this is not your first time on Chatnite Africa, but you've inspired me already. But my question is, we know that the Indian, we're talking not in the Indian, non-Native Americans dominate the IT community.
Yes.
We all love IT. I'm talking to you right now because somebody created this, right? We are all communicating because somebody created this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
My question to you, Professor, I know this sounds crazy. What we love IT because we love IT. We love what it does for us. But my question to you is, what do you say about those who just jump into IT just for the money? You know what I mean? Because you have to kind of understand what you're doing.
So what's your question? Yeah. So what's your question? I have a question, a comment by Zion Efret. I think she's in Texas.
My question is, where do you start if you really want to be an IT person and not just in for the money?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's Mr. Mumbalingwa. By the way, Mr. Mumbalingwa is my director of transmission here at Chatnite Africa. Zion Efred, I'm watching all the comments also on YouTube because I know lots of people are watching on YouTube. So never mind, I'm watching everything that you're putting there. If you want to dial or ask this Pope, IT Pope, you simply dial the number 240-603-7367, 240-603-7367, and the whole planet Earth will be listening to you. Yes, Mr. Cho Awundaga.
Yes, where do you begin to get into IT? I personally, I do it very slowly and methodically with people who simply, all I need is that you have the zeal to study. Once you have the zeal to study, I will teach you from typing. I'll teach you from the basics. What is a computer? What is memory? What is a hard drive? So we start from the ground, from ground zero, and we go to the highest point that you can think of, so that by the time you leave my class in 6 months, you are a professional. But you have to start from the beginning when you start from the beginning, then you're going to fall in love with the computer. You're going to fall in love with data. Then by the time you're getting a job, you understand the computer holistically. You see, so it's not like you just jump in to do one thing. But of course, the money is sweet, and there's no other place where you're going to get that kind of money apart from getting into IT. And Indians are there. We Africans, like you said, we are following. We're right behind them. So I teach you from scratch to becoming a professional within 5 to 6 months in my classes, the way I've been doing it for 26 years.
I mean, 26 years is a long time. Again, I want to assure all of those people, I have somebody on the line. Boy, this is the Pope. That's why all the followers are lined up. Hello, this is Voices of Africa. You're on.
Hi, this is Esther.
Yes, please. How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
Do you have a question for Mr. Cho Awundaga, described by his ex-students as the Pope in the business?
So apparently, I'm also an old student. Currently, yeah.
Okay. What did you find so unique about this IT Supermaster instructor?
So I think with this whole IT thing, it's like that's a new wagon that everybody's blowing. The IT is everywhere. Everybody wants to get into IT, get the IT money, right? So like, there's so many IT schools out there, and they'll preach to you that, hey, I'll get you a job, I'll get you six figures, 7 figures, and everybody wants money, And this is a situation whereby
and before you continue, Zion Efret is asking for the number. My director of transmission, please put the number on the screen: 240-603-7367. 240-603-7367. Yes, please go on.
And there's a situation where you come in and, like, let's say if you've had different background already and you come into IT, you don't know anything. And this IT school to tell you that, within 3 months, I'll get you a job. Within 4 months, I'll get you a job. Just imagine you going to a 4-year college, right? And you're going to a 4-month course to get a job. It's difficult. Maybe you don't have the language, especially if you're from Africa and you have so many accents on your tongue. It's hard. But for me, in person, I've been to 3 IT schools already before I met Mr. Cho. So I already had my fair share. I had to put in my mind that it was not for me because I have a health background, and coming to IT, let me be honest, I didn't know the language, right? If you compared to me in health, I would have been comfortable telling you whatever I would tell you. But in IT, it's technical. You have to know the word, you have to have the language, you have to have the culture. And here comes, I go to different IT schools, pay 4,000, 5,000, and within a 3 months, I don't get a job. And they say, bye, it's done, right? So when someone told me about Mr. Cho, I was kind of hesitant because I have been going back and forth with the whole career thing. I didn't know where to stand. And I joined Mr. Cho. One thing I can tell you that he's not about the money. Because when I joined Mr. Cho, I was in like a new graduate from school, didn't have a job, trying to figure out where to apply to and stuff. So life was tough, right? But he was not about the money.
Okay. Yeah, please. Wrap up because we have so many people signaling that they want to talk. Yes.
It was not about the money, but in my class, I had a chance to meet people from who were fresh from Africa. So they didn't even know about American culture, American education. But Mr. Cho started from scratch. He didn't care whether you've been here forever. He didn't care whether you just came from Africa. He just taught about email, Word, everything that you need to know about it, just to be sure that get the job. And he will stay online with you to 2 a.m., 4 a.m. He doesn't care. And sometimes we miss like 7 days in a week. Sometimes we begging him that Mr. Cho, we have to go and look for a job because the whole time we see you online. But he has the time. He has the empathy.
So you have a job. So you have a great job now.
No, I just came up from Mr. Cho. We just got done. But he's helping us with interviews, resume, making sure that so it's like I'm done with the class, but he's not done with me yet. He's still on
Wow,
my
you're done with the class, but it's not done with you yet. I love that line. That's the unique thing about the Pope. You see, that's the unique thing. Okay, I got to go because there are so many people on the line. Thank you for calling.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
We love Chatnite Africa. Keep watching Chatnite Africa.
Now that you're watching, my name is Divine Chamukong. I'm anchoring this broadcast from Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. You can dial the number 240-603-7367, 240-603-7367, and you will be talking to this Pope, the IT Pope. Now, Mr. Cho Awundaga, if somebody wants to contact you, because people are already signaling, Divine, how can I talk to this guy? What is your number? How can they contact you? And when do the classes begin?
I have a class beginning tomorrow. And that class we're going to all the way to December. And you can contact me through 240-461-2523. So 240-461-2523. You can WhatsApp me, you can call me anytime. And tomorrow we have a free class to attend for the next 2 weeks, just to give you that foundation that you need and the opportunity to make up your mind if you think this is for you. But I know the way I teach, it will be for you.
And the interesting thing is, it doesn't matter whether anybody has an IT background or not. Even if you don't know how to send an email, you start from the foundation. That is the ABC.
Yes.
If there's something before ABC, I'll say that. But you start on the ABC of, what database. Now, let me ask you this. People who are watching you across Africa now, is database what people need in Africa? Why? Tell me why people should need database in Africa, and why they should believe that they'll have a job when they connect with you online, take your classes, and they're right there somewhere in Africa.
Okay. What people don't know, and even what professors in universities don't know, is that without the database, there would be no internet. Without the database, there'll be no YouTube. Your program would just disappear in thin air. But we can watch this program later, because what we are doing now and saying now is being recorded and stored in a database somewhere by YouTube, by Facebook. So there's databases everywhere. McDonald's has a database. 7-Eleven has a database. The Ministry of Education in Yaoundé or
wherever,
Nigeria,
in which country, wherever in Africa, yeah.
Everywhere there is a database. But just to give you guys a little tip, before Cameroon got up into flames in 2017, I used to visit Cameroon every year for over 20 years. Every year I went to Cameroon to just teach in computer schools for free, especially in Bamenda. Then I would go visiting all the telephone companies, because that's backbone of the internet. And I visited Camtel, Orange,
MTN,
Nextel,
and so on.
MTN in Cameroon. Then I found this out. The entire Cameroon, as of 2016, the last time I visited peacefully, had 6 database administrators. They were all foreigners. All foreigners. And no school in Cameroon. And by the way, no school in the US teaches database.
Are you serious?
No. Yes, they don't. I don't understand why, but it's because it is so hands-on. You only learn databases as a mentor, as an apprentice. It is an apprenticeship course. You learn it from somebody who knows it, and they show you how to do it. Because
I was interviewing somebody a few days ago, and this is what he told me, that the world is driven by skills.
Yes.
You can have all the PhD in the world you want, but skills are what's driving the world economy now.
Absolutely. And that's why database administration is like being a mechanic in the computer industry. Your mechanic doesn't go to college to learn how to become a mechanic. You send them as an apprentice to the mechanic shop. So when you come to my class, you are like an apprentice in IT. and I show you the nuts and bolts of how to put it together. So for that reason, I've taught professors, people who've been professors for 10, 15 years. But they came to me because they saw their children. They saw their children starting to make 110, 120, 130.
After 6 months of studies.
Yes.
This
And they
is
called
incredible.
me and said, "Hey, Mr. Cho, is this for real?" I said, "It is."
You say, yeah, it's for real.
And they studied with me, and they quit their professorship. Not just one job. Because of the way database is like being a mechanic, right? They bring a car, you're fixing it. The other guy brings his car, you put it on the side. You fix this one, you go to this one. So with that is why you hear most of my Cameroonian children now, they all have 2, 3, 4 jobs, each making over $120,000 for each of those jobs, because
That's
they've
crazy.
learned to be good mechanics. They can handle those databases without a conflict.
Wow.
Working from home. So in Africa is a virgin forest as far as data is concerned. Virgin forest. We are getting into it slowly with the advent of the cell phone and the internet, but most importantly, the cloud. Because with the cloud, every ministry in our countries, every business can now have a database in the cloud.
Now,
without
hold
fearing.
right there. It looks like I am having somebody on the line. Hello.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, please. You are watching Voices of Africa in high definition for the first time.
Yes.
Yes, go ahead. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Namain and I'm calling from Minnesota.
Oh, from Minnesota.
Yep.
Are you also in the IT profession?
Not yet. I just completed my class with Mr. Cho and
Okay.
been in the process of interviewing and
I see.
going through that process.
What were your experiences as a student of Mr. Cho Awundaga?
At first it's difficult because I don't have a background in computers. I work with computers for my previous job, but to know the background for the computers, how it works in the back of it, was intriguing. So when I started this as a recommendation from a friend of mine who did his class like 3-4 years ago, I got into his class, and at first I told myself, why did I get into it? Because it was difficult in the beginning, but he's there for you to, when you have questions, and if you having problems, he will stay on with you until you understand. And he tells you, if you have questions, speak up. Don't be afraid to speak your mind, and he's always there and ready to help you no matter what.
Beautiful. Mr. Cho Awundaga just fell off the line. He'll be reconnecting. Time for us to play some bit of music. Thank you for calling. You can always call back, or I'll call you right back, okay? That way, all your questions here, he will answer, or any comments he might want to listen and respond. Thank you so much for calling from Minnesota, okay?
Thank you.
We love Chatnite Africa. Keep watching Chatnite Africa.
And Chatnite Africa is live from Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. For the first time, we are broadcasting in high definition. Zion Alfred, the number is 240-603-7367. 240-603-7367. Mr. Cho Awundaga will be reconnecting momentarily. Let's have an interlude of music. Here we go.
mutima wase Jema musango mo titi no Jema yebiso siye na itaba mo na mo Pola epongo nyola bato bese Disima pula pondo ngona moto tade Ngia mito mangila e Disi bese ni soboe Enya kisame Pondo e moto e Maombo manimbole Mongo pene pasie Manyaka mabukiye Mabukingo manyamae Biya mutiti pe di kondi boye Tata mweyande esumba sumba matanda Amota benamae umawasandenge Biya mutiti pe di kondi boye Tata mweyande esumba sumba matanda Amota benamae umawasandenge Oni uwasonde noipemea Osetelete Ngeya pewa pube Undima wase Mwande pungu pele Nisoma tondima Matsoi mandokie Oni uwasonde noipemea Oh, esetelete ye Ngeya pewa pube Undima wase Mwande pungu pele Nisoma tondima Matsoi mandokie Oni uwa sonde noipemea Oni uwa sonde noipemea Oni uwa sonde iwe Yes sonde di Yes sonde di Ibwa na mweyande De talogo O mati pande kanyama e Kanyama mabiti Yes on dedi Ibwam na meyande De salongo O mati pande kanyama e Kanyama mabiti Kanyama mabiti O mati pande kanyama e Kanyama mabiti Kanyama mabiti O mati pande kanyama e Kanyama mabiti Oni uwa sonde noipemea Osetelete Ngeya pewa pube Undima wase Mwande pungu pele Miso matondima Matoi mandokie Oni uwa sonde noipemea
Hello, this is somebody on the line. Somebody's on the line. We're waiting for Mr. Kum, Mr. Cho Awundaga to reconnect from Maryland. You are watching Voices of Africa. My name is Divine Chamukong. I am anchoring this broadcast from Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. Momentarily, we'll have Mr. Cho Awundaga connecting again from his office in Maryland. This is a live broadcast. And we have someone on the line. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please. This is Voices of Africa, and everybody's listening to you. Mr. Cho Awundaga is listening while he reconnects. Yes, what's your question?
Hello?
Yes, are you hearing me?
I am. I'm Lionel. I'm calling from Toronto.
Oh, you are calling from Toronto in Canada.
Yeah.
Yes. What's your question or your comment?
Not a question. My comment. I'm one of Mr. Cho's, Prof. Cho's disciples here in Toronto, Canada.
First of all, is Mr. Cho? Are you hearing him?
I can
okay, go
hear
ahead,
you.
sir. Go ahead.
So I'm one of his disciples, fervent disciples here in Toronto, Canada. I had the occasion of.
It looked, yes, we're listening to you.
Yeah, so I had the occasion of taking the course and it consolidated, and I was able to have a job here in Canada.
Oh, you have a job in
and
Canada after being his student?
Yeah, exactly. And just to add that taking his course, hello?
Yes, I'm listening to you, sir. Just talk to me. I'm listening to you. Everybody's listening to you.
Just taking his course, gives you the confidence, changes away the fear factor. And so anybody who wishes to take the course, please feel free to take the course. You don't need to start from square one. You don't need to have the interest in doing the course and be confident and look up to the future. And you are sure that you can have something for yourself. So every other student. So because I took the course here from Canada.
Wow.
Hello?
I am listening to you. You don't need to say hello. I'm listening to you.
Yeah. So, and I'm referring others as well who were doubting. I said, oh, please, can you get there, take the course and fine. So even after I had a job, I'm still in constant contact with Mr. Cho, Professor Cho. So I'm in constant contact with him because he's a mentor and he's always available. Always available.
Okay.
Always available. So,
thank you.
It's not just about database. It's not just about Oracle database we're talking of here. We're talking about Oracle database on premise and the cloud, AWS.
We'll come to that. I'll be asking you questions about that.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for calling, okay?
Okay, sir.
Beautiful. Mr. Cho Awundaga, the Pope. You have your followers all over the planet. And he says the way you teach, you completely take away the fear factor. Here's my question. What are people afraid of when they think of database, when they think of Mr. Mumbalingwa? I see you on the line. I'll take your call when they in a moment. What's the fear factor that people usually entertain?
Just like a caller said, maybe the three callers behind, he said people just jump in for the money, and they don't. They are not mentored or taught correctly. So when they finish, it's hard for them to keep a job. It's hard to find a job. But I teach you from a layman's perspective. I teach you from the ground up. So you find yourself growing up until you realize that you can speak like the professionals do.
Now,
And that fear factor will be gone.
Yeah, Zion Efret in Texas, Mr. Mumbalingwa, hang on, I'll be taking you shortly. Zion Efret in Texas says, what exactly is Mr. Cho Awundaga teaching? That's a core question.
First, I teach you basic computers. So everyone who takes my class, by the time they finish, they can use Microsoft Word correctly.
they can use Excel, they can do PowerPoint presentation. I teach you to be like a teacher who can present technically using all the modern tools that we have. Then when we graduate from there, now you're confident of yourself. You can type. I teach you things on the keyboard that you never thought existed. So now with the mastery of your keyboard, and I call that keyboarding. So that's the first class, keyboarding. So you master that keyboard. Not that you type 50 words a minute, but at least you can type, say, 5, 10 characters without before looking at the keyboard. So that
Wow.
starts to give you the confidence.
Wow.
Then from there, I slowly move you into the physical computer itself. What is that computer? How does it function within? What is a CPU? What is memory? Then from there, we move now to what is stored in that computer. It's
That's
nothing
amazing.
but data. And
That's
that's why
amazing.
I teach you database. We end up with the database. But now with the with modernization that has happened within the past 10 years, now everything is in the cloud. So I teach you what the cloud is. I teach you not just the cloud, but what to do in the cloud. How do you function as a DBA, as a database administrator, or a database architect or engineer in the cloud? So when you finish my course, you can handle a database administration, a database engineer, a database architect's position with ease. So those are the things I teach you, but I kind of package all of them together under one course. One thing I missed, I teach you the Linux operating system. It's the most powerful operating system, more than Windows. So I teach you Linux. A Linux course out there is $3,000, but I give you that for free. So when you finish my class, you can function as a Linux person in that environment without hesitation. So you have the confidence to go out.
You are watching Voices of Africa on Chatnite Africa. My name is Divine Chamukong. My guest is Mr. Cho Awundaga. He's described by people who know him and know what that head hanging on his shoulder contains. They call him the Pope. He's the senior technical database administrator, engineer, architect, and AWS cloud DBA consultant. So I believe that's Zion Efret, your question has been answered. Now, here is Mr. Mumbalingwa on the line. Hello.
Bob, thank you for having me one more time. First of all, I want to say thank you so much for that beautiful interlude, and thanks to technology wherever they were playing. I love that interlude.
That's Mr. Schatzeka. That's Mr. Schatzeka. Anybody who has gone to the Resurrection Catholic Church in Buttonsville, Silver Spring, will know him. That guy is terrific with his colleague.
Wow.
If you're organizing,
thanks for technology.
Yeah, I was saying that if you're organizing any event whatsoever, any social event, contact me and I'll hook you up with those guys. Those two guys, they are beyond amazing.
Amazing.
That's Mr. Schatzeka. Yeah, go ahead.
Amazing.
What's your question?
Amazing.
What's your question?
And thanks for technology, I'm able to see them. That's Professor Cho.
Yes.
My question to you is, first of all, Professor Cho, thank you again for being on this platform on this day. My question to you is, how can we inspire more Africans? And I mean more Cameroonians. How can we inspire more Africans to see beyond the light that they can do this, even from Africa?
Yes.
They don't have. How can we inspire more people from Africa to join the information technology movement? How can we inspire more people to come to the light? Like he mentioned at the beginning, he says we are a little bit behind time. How can we empower more people to come to the present?
Thank you, Mr. Mumbalingwa, and that's my director of transmission. Mr. Mumbalingwa is my director of transmission. I also want to thank the guy who designed this platform to look this beautiful. That's Dr. Elo. That's a great friend. If you are doing anything, you are presenting, you're a presenter, you're a content creator like me, and you want your platform to look this beautiful, this charming, just contact me. I'll hook you up. I also want to thank the guy who is responsible, is my IT, my technical support chief, Roger Full. He's in Nigeria right now, making sure that these things are on the internet. Everything we're doing is on the internet. Yes, so Mr. Cho Awundaga, how do you answer this question raised by my director of transmission, Mr. Mumbalingwa from Chicago, United States?
Yes, inspiration. How do we inspire our people? If number one, I'll tell you this: Indians. I've worked for the major companies. AWS has Amazon Web Services has the biggest IT platform in the world, but nobody talks about it because Jeff Bezos is a quiet spoken guy. In AWS, the IT gurus in there, I'll tell you, 60% of them are Indians. And after the Indians, the next 20% is Africans.
Wow.
Of the entire world, 20%. And of that 20%, Cameroonians are about 10%. That's a lot. If you can think about it. Think of big Nigeria near us, right? Then, of course, Nigeria takes the bulk of the rest. But the way we inspire our people, what I have been doing for the past 26 years is teaching them. I have these free classes that I give them that they can launch into IT for free. But again, sometimes when you give things for free, people don't take them serious. I learned that early because when I started sometime in 1998, 99, I had a class of about 500 people. It was free. Then I realized they were all joking around. Then we made them to pay a fee of $150 for the entire class. And just a few of them paid. But everybody who paid, I'll say about 200 of those people had jobs into IT. And that was the beginning of this revolution amongst us. So it is just passing the word out, bringing them in to start doing the basics, start doing the fundamentals. When they understand those fundamentals and they can they can answer questions and do things and watch it, they will be encouraged to go forward. So that's my method of teaching. I start by giving you the little things and you do them and you do them. So by the time you spend 2 weeks with me, you can now do bigger things that any other person coming cannot do. So they are encouraged to do that. So for us Africans, it is just to pass the word out from here back to Africa. So they start studying IT online for free before they make a trip out of their countries, and they'll all get in. The field is so large, and that's why I teach everyone to become a teacher. I try to replicate myself because I cannot do it all alone.
Now,
And
does somebody need or have to be in the United States to take your class, sir?
no, you don't have to be in the United States. All you need is to compensate for the time difference. So say you are in Cameroon, for example. We are 5 hours behind Cameroon time. So my class starts, I teach these classes for working people who want, mostly those who want to switch careers. Okay. So I do evening classes because I work during the day. Teaching for me is a hobby, it's a passion. So in the evening, 7 p.m., it's midnight in Cameroon, you come online. And we can stay online for the next 3.5 hours.
And I want to make this
and you go
clear
to
that
bed.
he's just making references to Cameroon. You can be in Nigeria, you can be in Rwanda,
Yes.
you can be in South Africa, you can be anywhere, Eritrea, no problem. You can take the class.
Yes, you can be
And
anywhere in the world.
Anywhere in the world. You can be in London, you can be in Germany, you can be in France, Canada, you can take the class. And here is the number, 240-461-2523. Let me repeat, that's Mr. Cho Awundaga's number. It's on WhatsApp, 240-461-2523.
We love Chatnite Africa.
You love Chatnite Africa. And each time you come to watch Chatnite Africa, this is the kind of content that you get. We go out and look for those people with big brains. Hey, you got to watch what's coming this Thursday. You'll be blown away by it. So, Mr. Cho Wundaga, somebody wants to. What are some of the common myths about learning IT? What are people fretful about?
The most common myth that I've seen, especially our Africans, is they say I'm not a math student. I did not do mathematics in school, so I can't do this. No. Then I often refer them back to looking at their sisters or people they know who are now nurses in the US, who never did biology or chemistry, but they become nurses. So it's a myth that we have back home that you have to have that brain of a mathematician or a physician to become. No, IT is very, very simple. It is so practical that once you come in, you realize that it is dealing with day-to-day things. You go to school and they ask you, they call your name, you say present, they check it, it's in the database. Everything you do is in the
Even
database.
the phone that you have, this is a database right here.
Yes, the phone that we have is more powerful than the computer that sent the first rocket to the moon, Apollo 11. This phone is more powerful than that computer.
But the question I want to ask you, Mr. Cho Awondaga, is, okay, like this phone, I have about 3,000 pictures in it. Some of the pictures I took 4 or 5 years ago. Are you people looking at ways where if I say I took a picture with Mr. Cho Awondaga in 1996 or whatever, I can just go into my database, which is my photo gallery, and be able to pull that picture without having to scroll through 3,000 pictures? Are you guys thinking about that?
That's a database work. That's the job of a database. So you could write a little script in a program, they call them SQL, structured query language. That's the kind of language a computer hears. So you write a structured query language that will go in and pull your pictures by date.
Wow.
It's very easy. So those are the kinds of things we teach
Then
people
I
in class.
have to come to your class. I have to come to your class. Fortunately, I don't have to drive to where you are. I simply sit where I am, and I take the class. Now, tell us again, when do the next class session start?
The next class starts July 24th, which is tomorrow, Monday, and admission continues for the next 2 weeks. Because in that first 2 weeks, we are going around the fundamentals like typing, as I call it, keyboarding. We're going around things like hardware, software. What is that in a computer? Just the entire intricacies around the building of the computer, which is not yet the database, but there are things that will give you confidence to launch into higher IT programs, apart from database, everything else. So start tomorrow, and within the next week or two, you can still join our class and you'll be admitted, and we would move on and you become a professional by Christmas. That'll be your Christmas gift.
And that could mean you driving a Range Rover by Christmas.
Yes.
That could mean buying that dream house by Christmas. Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. The world is driven today by skills. That's right.
It's amazing.
Let me tell you something. Yes, go ahead, sir.
You know, what motivates me and drives me to keep teaching is just the joy that I have when I see somebody like the lady from Texas, the ones from Minnesota, no, the one from Canada, when I see them have jobs and their lives change, they start making so much money that they never thought they could make with no education, sometimes no degree, and sometimes no certification. So once they come in and they start making money, I am pleased to continue to keep on to the next class. Otherwise, I can, with my skill, I can do 5 jobs, and I make over $600,000 alone. So what am I going to do with that?
This is what one of your students told me, that Divine, when you sit in Mr. Cho Awondaga's class, the thing is flowing out of him like water that's gushing out of a broken pipe. Listen to the expression, flowing out of his head like water that's gushing out of a broken pipe. And again, I know of your former students. They're working in big corporations in New York. Some are in Department of Defense holding super scale positions. Some are in the foreign ministry, and so there's some are around the world. And so absolutely, the results are there. Before we go, I will still give about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, if anybody wants to dial in. 240-603-7367. 240-603-7367. This is the first show we are broadcasting in high definition. And I want to thank all the people who've been supporting this platform. An app is being built for Chatnite Africa Radio. Very soon we'll launch it. Thank you to all the top fans watching and sharing and liking. Go to YouTube and listen. If you've never heard that somebody ditched his PhD, took his shovel, cutlasses, and went to the farm in the United States, you will watch that guy shortly. He's a farmer. He has a PhD. He said, you know what, to hell with PhD. He has cows. He has goats. He has all kinds of things. You want okombong, all kinds of vegetables. You can get it. He is somewhere in Texas. You'll be getting him on this platform very soon. We bring content that elevate people, transformative content. Yes, Mr. Cho Awundaga. Anybody wants to call, by the way, can call 240-603-7367. 240-603-7367. And you will be heard around the world via our platform. And Mr. Cho Awundaga, do you have a last word before you go?
Yes, the last word that repeating what the second caller said, every African, you can get into this. If you had gone through our secondary school, let alone high school, let alone university, which is not even necessary, you are able to become an IT guru within a short time if you join the right environment, like we have set up, where they start teaching you from scratch, from the beginning, until you become a professional. And like the other callers mentioned, we are there to support you even at midnight, 2 a.m., 3 a.m. We are up because we have students around the world. So we are always there to support you. When you have that first job, we are there to support you, to take away that fear factor that was mentioned. So every African, everybody, not just African, every black person, every call it Arab or whoever, you can get into IT if you join our platform, and we hold your hand and take you step by step till you make it.
Wow. Well, you heard it. Hearing is one thing, doing is another one. Now we have somebody on the line. Hello.
Hi, how are you guys doing?
We're doing good. We're happy to hear you live on Voices of Africa.
Yeah, I'm so excited to air out my view because I'm following the program right here in Rochester, New York.
Okay.
And I'm so excited. Yep. Actually, I'm a PhD student in the Institute of Technology here in New York, and I just want to get more details about how someone can participate and be part of the class.
Okay.
That's coming. Yep.
That's very easy. Do you have a pen and paper there?
Let me grab a pen.
Okay, grab a pen and paper, and I'll give you the phone number. Oh, there's a bit of noise, please. There's a bit of noise. Yeah, there's a bit of noise. I know he's looking for a pen and paper. He doesn't know that he's on the air. Hello?
All right.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
That's okay. The number is 240-461.
Just give me 1 second. Let me take that down.
240 4640
240
1 25
25
23. That's
All right.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much. You can then contact Mr. Cho Awundaga after the program is over. Okay.
All right. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate what you guys are doing, man.
Thank you. And then go on YouTube, please. Make sure that you subscribe. We've lined up powerful, life transformative content for you. Okay. Just go on YouTube.
All right. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much, my friend.
All right.
We love Chatnite Africa.
All right, you love Chatnite Africa, and that's why you're calling. My name is Divine Chamukong. I'm anchoring this broadcast from Washington, D.C. metropolitan area.
We love Chatnite Africa.
And my guest today on the show is Mr. Cho Awundaga. He is described by people who know him as the Pope in the business of databases. He is senior technical database administrator. He is engineer, architect, AWS, cloud, DBA consultant with 26 rock solid years behind him as a court experience. Yes, Mr. Cho Awundaga, just your last word in 1 minute, and we'll be saying merci à tout le monde. Goodbye to everybody.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So the thing is, I would encourage every person listening, every African, contact your families, your friends, and tell them that it is easier to get into IT than they think. And if you are in the US right now and you're not earning $100,000 or more, I think you should call our institution,
and
we
Taku
can
J,
get you to
asking
get
for the
into
number
that place.
again. Taku J, the number is 240-461-2523. Let me repeat, 240-461-2523. And you'll be talking to the supermaster, the database supermaster.
Yes, but you took away my 30 seconds. So what I was saying was, anybody in the US, from Africa in particular, who is not earning 100,000 minimum, should consider taking this class. Consider taking our class. All the young men now who arrive the US within a year, they have 2, 3, 4 jobs. None of those kids is making less than $200,000. I know the average is about $250,000. I can tell you that because I talk to many of them. You just have to go to parties and you see them how they throw money around. Then you wonder where it's coming from. It's from IT, working from home. How can you beat that? So guys, join IT if you're making less than 100,000, and within a year, by this time next year, you're going to be making twice or 3 times what you are making now. Okay, you'll be able to do 2 jobs if you want to. You can travel to Africa, travel to the Caribbean, and you're still at work on your computer, and you're working from your bedroom or from home. Thank you.
That applause is for Mr. Cho Awundaga, and that's where we call it quits. But before we go, here is a nice video. I'd love everyone to watch, and then I will come back to say goodbye. Voice to the world. Chatnite Africa, Africa's voice to the world. You will always be at the center of what we do at Chatnite Africa. That is why we have 3 programs running on the platform: Family Matters, Voices of Africa, and Healthline. Unfortunately, Facebook is not inclined to ours publish the topics we carry and how we choose to discuss them. I'm therefore asking you to run to YouTube or the internet, www.chatniteafrica.net, once our shows hit the airwaves. There, you will watch the shows uninterrupted. We fiercely believe in the independence of journalism and will not betray the trust you have in us under any circumstances. Let me take this opportunity to thank those who have continued to deploy their resources so that this platform look the way it is dazzling. Meanwhile, if you want to support our operations, this venture, you can reach us at chatniteafrica@gmail.com or simply call me. Bread and butter, kitchen table, and pocketbook issues will remain front and center of what we do on this platform. Thank you. My name is Divine Chamukon. All right. Beautiful. This is how we wrap up. But take note, we have 3 programs running on this platform: Family Matters, Healthline, and Voices of Africa. Thank you so much. My name is Divine Chamukon. I want to thank my producer in Lagos, and that's Mr. Roger Full. We also want to thank Mr. Mumbalingwa, who is my director of transmission. I want to thank Dr. Ilo, who designed this platform. And if you want a platform like this, just let me know. I will hook you up. If you also want to talk with Mr. Cho Awundaga about starting your own program with him, you're taking the classes with him wherever you are around the world, simply call the number 240-461-2523, or you contact us at Chatnite Africa. My email address is chatniteafrica@gmail.com. Please, all of you watching, do me a favor, show me some love. Just go on YouTube now and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. We have powerful stuff lined up for you, believe me. But the taste of the pudding is in the mouth. Merci à tout le monde. Thank you to everybody who has been watching this beautiful program. I will see you hopefully next Thursday for yet another explosive edition. Bye for now.
I'm coming back. I'm coming back. I'm coming to get down. I'm coming to dance, We're gonna dance, we're gonna get down, we're gonna party hardy. We're gonna boogie woogie, and when we jam, it's out of sight. This song right here, it's dynamite. I'm ready, I'm coming.